Hello and welcome to level 148 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here with my compadre, David.
What up?
What up? How's your evening going?
It is going all right. Uh,
Good.
Long day. I had to go in 2 hours early at work today, and then I
Mm.
worked 2 hours later than usual.
Oh, wow.
It was a nice long day.
Hmm.
But besides that, it's been pretty nice. I'm excited for tomorrow. I know it's
Yeah.
preemptive because Rogue is coming out for Rivals tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So so it's a good day. But I haven't worked a Friday in like almost a year. I have to work tomorrow. That's
Oh,
why I'm
yeah.
bringing it up. So now it's
Ah,
like, the one Friday I work is when the new character comes out.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
all right.
It,
Now the extra money I could buy a skin maybe.
exactly,
There
right.
we
Get in the
go.
bag, right.
How's your
It,
day
it,
been?
my day's been all right. I've been kind of dragging today, feeling a little
Mm,
under
yeah.
energied. You know what I'm saying? I popped a vitamin D earlier, just trying to keep
Mm,
the energy up, you know what I'm saying? Have that going. It has been unreasonably cold in the
tell
winter
me
thus
about it.
far.
I hate the cold to begin with, and
I
then
do
having to
too.
be in the cold 2 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I literally turned my car on. I don't have like the auto start or whatever, right? I mean, I do, but I have to go through an app that I'm not paying for. I feel
Uh
like that's very scammy.
it is. Yeah.
I I have the auto start, give it to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, turn my car on, turn the heat on. I have warmer seats and everything, and I'm literally shaking for how cold I am in my car. I couldn't
Yeah.
even drive.
Yeah, it's insane. The other day it was like super, yesterday or day before, but maybe both. It's like super windy too. So it was like,
Hmm.
man, this is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yeah, so that might be the cause of it. Otherwise just been kind of no, just kind of chilling, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Doing
yeah,
my own
yeah.
thing, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens. Welcome into this level of the pod, level 148. We've got an interesting topic, kind of like our last level. I think a little bit grand spanning in some ways, a little bit more gamer focused, but I think grand spanning and a lot of indicative of a lot of things that's going on right now. So
Hmm.
looking forward to talking about that. But yeah, let's jump into it where we always start the level at, and that is talking about the games that we are playing. So um again, I can lead this off if we want.
Sure.
Okay, so I have two games that I've been playing. I think I was playing two games before, and I believe those two games
Yes.
before was Ghost of Yote
Yes.
and something else. Okay, something else. I
Yeah.
forgot.
What was it?
Um, I can't remember for the life of
Uh,
me. It feels like
what
a year
was it?
ago.
Something from Josh? Was it something he
Um,
was playing? I
no.
think it was
Oh,
something.
okay. I remember. I remember now. I remember now. It was
Okay.
where the wind meets. That's the other game I
Yes.
was playing. Yeah.
Yes. We got there. We
We
got
got
there.
there.
You see that?
The NetEase
Teamwork.
Chinese, online RPG. So let's
Yes.
see. I have been playing two games. Where the Wind Meets has not been one of them. So
Hmm.
I played a little bit of Ghost of Yote.
Okay.
Um and I've after doing some real, having a conversation with myself. I don't think I'm going to try to get the 56 out of 56 trophies. I'm not doing
Hmm.
that. I'll wait till the other expansion
Is
and stuff come out and then do some stuff later.
okay.
Yeah.
Is
I
it just as
mean,
like what you have to do for the achievements,
I got to beat the
or are
whole
you
game and
just
get a
getting
new game
tired?
plus. I got to beat the whole
Okay.
game and get a new game plus and I just beat the game.
Right.
So that's something where it's like, okay, maybe I'll wait later. And I think I mentioned before that like my fiance and I, we eventually want to do like a little mini kind of thing, mini series type of thing, if you want to call it, on the Ghost
Hmm.
series. So I eventually
Right.
want to go back and play Ghost of Tsushima. So I don't want to still be in Yote when I eventually pivot to that.
Got it. That makes sense.
I've been playing a little bit of Ghost of Yote. The game I've mostly been playing, is a game that I've had on my wish list for probably about 5 years. It's a little indie game called
Let's go.
Chef, a restaurant
Oh.
tycoon.
Oh. Okay.
And it is a little tycoon sim game where you're a chef and you run a restaurant. And you have to come up with these different recipes and dishes that appeal to different types of customers. These customers are at different social economic levels. They have certain likes and dislikes. So you're trying to create these recipes that are great that get people in. You're also trying to balance the price and your workload and all these different things like that. And so yeah, it's a nice little game. It pops. It's mostly retails for like $20, but it pops on
Okay.
sale pretty regularly. I just haven't really felt like grabbing it, but
Hmm.
um, oh, let's see here. I ended up grabbing it after I had. I'm trying to think of what the previous game was. I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I had grabbed. I grabbed a game called Poly Bridge 2 that I was trying to play on my Steam Deck, and
Hmm.
was really into it. It's right up my alley, except that it sucks to play on the Steam Deck, so I had to return
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep.
So
You did talk
yeah,
about that.
so with the 30 something dollars that I got back from that, I was able to spend $2 of it on Chef, a restaurant tycoon, because it's been on sale, and I spent the other dollar and a little bit extra on a game called Fabledom that I've also had wishlisted for maybe close to a year or
Okay.
so. It's another kind of like medieval strategy game, so I hopped into that. So I've mostly been playing Chef, a restaurant tycoon. It's a nice, cute little game. It's not going to take as much time to really kind of beat it or get to the end. The mechanics are pretty simple and self-explanatory. So I see
Hmm.
myself maybe putting, you know, I can see myself putting a dozen or so, even maybe even more, possibly 20 some odd hours into it. I mean, it's that type of thing. It's not going to be something like Software Inc. where I just lose time in it because I'm like, I don't know where anything is because I'm just so busy
Right.
trying to create the perfect program. Um, yeah, but it's nice. It's cool. You set up your vegetarian dishes, your vegan dishes, your meat dishes, your carb heavy dishes, maybe something with sauce, maybe some kind of pasta, or do you want to do something that's maybe just seafood based, right? You have to unlock different ingredients. So you start out with a base, and then you can unlock higher qualities of ingredients. So let's say I have beef unlocked, I get some skill points. I can put more points in the beef, get higher beef. So you know what I'm saying? The higher grade
Get that
beef, and then
wagyu.
like, get that wagyu. You know what I'm saying? But you can't. You don't feed. I mean, the game doesn't say this blatantly, but basically, don't waste your wagyu on the poors because they don't really care for it. You save them for the richy riches that you want to come into your restaurant. So
The pores can't
uh,
even say wagyu.
poors they can't comprehend it. So yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing. So it's been nice little
All
fun
right.
break of things.
Yeah, it seems a little more relaxed.
Yes. I would say it's definitely a laid back, relaxed game. Now, you have like everyone has like a stamina bar in it, right? So,
Hmm.
they take a little bit of their from software notes with Dark Souls and all that. And so you have to make sure that you don't get too your morale and your stamina doesn't go down too much, else people get burnt out. So
Hmm.
just trying to make sure that my chef doesn't have a mental breakdown.
It's very important.
Yeah, so I played a little bit of that, a little bit of Yote, and I actually just the other day I hopped into, or maybe for maybe about an hour or so, I hopped into Valheim, um
Nice.
just to experiment and try with some things. I have multiple characters
Hmm.
that I use. My main character is Lil Vike, so I don't really mess with Lil Vike that much because I want to leave him where he's got all his stuff, right?
Right.
um
Is
so I
that the
got a
one you
little.
played with me and Corey?
No, that was what was his name? I don't think it
Hmm.
was Lil Vike. And then so I got Lil
Okay.
I got Lil Vike.
It's all
I
right.
got another one that I got another one that I think that might be the one I played with you and Corey with. I can't remember his name. And then
Okay.
when I try to mess around and figure out things with the game, I have another profile, and this is the guy I mess with on there. I got a guy on there I call Lil his name's Lil Dick Wiener. That's his name. And uh and I created a map called Wiener's World, and I put them in it, so that way I can kind of try some things out, see some new updates they made to the game, and try out a controller and stuff. So, uh, man, that game. I forgot how to play it,
dude.
and then I played it for 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh, I remember. Okay, cool. Let's hop back and let's do our thing. So I mean, it was fun to jump back into an old game like that. Did not know I
It
had
is.
75 hours in it, but I do. So
You do.
yeah,
I remember every time your name would pop up, playing Valheim. I'm like, is at it again?
yep,
But
yep.
you just, I just thought of a theme song for your freaking uh Dick Wiener guy, like Wiener's World, and like why can I not think of it? Nordic people,
Yeah,
Vikings, there it is. You know, like a Viking foghorn,
yeah.
Wiener's World, and then it has like this Viking instrument stuff just going crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Anyways, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The
Also,
the Viking's horn is kind of phallic shaped in nature, so I guess that makes a little
see,
sense, you know.
I like that. Also, with the cooking thing, it sounds like it's Eat Adventure on like speed.
You know what? That's not a bad comp. That's not a bad comp at all. It's like it's not themed. You can make it themed, but it's not
Hmm.
like themed as much as like like Eat Venture is like okay you're doing like a sushi bar and then you're doing like a burger
Right.
joint and something like that. Like, but you're right. It is like there's like you have a wait like people wait and if they wait too long then they leave, right? And people can leave tips and different stuff like that. There are some Eat Venture components to it. That's interesting. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Sometimes when you're good, you're good. You know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go to what I've been playing, and we all know what it is. It's Fragpunk and Rivals. Honestly, I just hit Grandmaster yesterday in Rivals, and I hit Diamond 2 in Fragpunk yesterday. So
Okay.
it was a good day yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
Reaching some new heights there.
yes, it's crazy that there's 5 sections in Fragpunk. That's like 4 I thought was a lot. Like 3 I
Yeah.
really like. You know, that's what
Yeah.
Rivals has is 3.
Yeah.
And Apex, when I played it a lot, it just was annoying. But
Yeah.
5, I mean, I'm leveling up still kind of like I'll lose one game, then I'll win 3, and then I'll lose one, so it's still a little steppy.
Hmm.
But dang. But hey, I guess mine's a lot shorter than yours.
Yeah.
That's all I've been playing. Man, I played maybe 3 games of TFT this week.
Okay. Okay. Now with the character releases, is that like a Friday type of thing, or is it lined up with like a season or something like that? Because you were just saying
I
before they
it
just
is
released Gambit, right? Like they just put
yes.
Gambit in the game.
So the cool thing about Rivals, at least for now, I don't know how long it's going to be a thing, but they're releasing 2 heroes every season, except for the one where
Hmm.
they did the Fantastic Four. It was 2 in the beginning, 2 halfway. But it's usually
Yeah.
one in the beginning of the season and then one halfway through the season.
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, and we all know Marvel has about 800 characters. So
Great. Great.
they're
They're going
they
to be
won't run
releasing
out
for a minute.
anytime soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Any rumblings of like crossover stuff? I would assume that would probably never happen.
I I I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I'm not so like deep into knowing everything about the game before it like comes out and stuff,
Hmm.
like data miners and stuff like that. But I haven't heard anything, and I don't know if I would want to unless it's something like very specific, like
Hmm.
maybe like a costume switcheroo, like maybe
Hmm.
somebody dresses up as Batman or
Hmm.
something, because DC and Marvel, they've been crossovering stuff for a while now,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
I don't, since Marvel's does already have 800 people, I wouldn't want somebody else in there. We already have enough crossover games, and I love that. I love crossover stuff,
Right.
but I feel like some stuff doesn't need to be.
What if it was like a which I mean I think they may be down for this. What if it was kind of like a instead of a let's say Marvel's DC crossover,
Mhm.
what was already in line what they've done with Forbes? It's like a Marvel versus Capcom type of crossover where you have some Capcom characters that jump into Marvel rivals, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see,
Maybe get
that
some
opens up another window of another
you get some
800 characters.
possibly yeah maybe use stream maybe it's like strictly like Street Fighter characters. Like
Hmm.
that's all who bursts in there, and then because you also have to create, you know, the entire like gameplay mechanics for all those characters. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And then if these companies are anything like I say Respawn, but we all know it's EA. Like the Final Fantasy crossover, if you wanted to get the sword, you had to spend, I think it was $350
Hmm.
to unlock all the event stuff to get it.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Right.
absolutely not. You know what heirlooms I have? Not that one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. No, thank you.
Yeah. I feel you.
It's too
All
much
right.
greed lately. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, that's the games that we are playing. So now
That's
we're gonna
true.
move into
That's true.
our main topic, our main topic of
Welcome to
discussion.
the main event.
Welcome to the main event. And what is that topic or discussion about? It's about the fact that y'all ain't buying video games no more.
What
Okay.
is wrong with y'all? Come on.
So this is kind of going off of I think you know it's a trend we've been kind of like I think observing loosely as people who are like you know playing games and stuff like that. But also based off a Vice article that I came across that was written in October of this year. The title "U.S. Gamers Aren't Buying Video Games Anymore," and it had some interesting kind of statistics and metrics in here. So it says that a
Hmm.
study revealed that a majority of video game sales are fueled by only 4% of quote unquote players. In 2025, 63% of US consumers are buying fewer games. So the article talks about kind of like this drastic reduction of this player base. Let's see here. That explain that only 30% of US based gamers purchase one or two games per year. However, even more surprising is that 33% of gamers in the US don't buy any new games at all over a typical 12-month period. Um,
That's me.
so what are some reasonings for this? Well, actually, we can get into part of what this article posits as being the saving grace because that all sounds like dire news. So this article makes an argument that I mean, we looked at it. It seems on surface level kind of preposterous.
Hmm.
Is that the loss in video game sales is being made up by the purchasing of video game hardware. So people are buying less things to play, but they're buying more things to play them on. You see how that makes no sense when you say it that way. Um, so it's talking about how in 2025 console sales increased 20%, and then it's largely due to the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. But it says
Yeah.
hardware year to date, video game hardware spending has grown 20% versus a year ago, reaching 2.9 billion. Um, and it talks about the Switch 2's general like its sales numbers, how it's outperformed the previous gen by as much as 77%. It's basically kind of like a 2 to 1. I think it's already hit at the time we're recording this, and basically the winter, it's already sold over 10 million copies. The Switch 2, versus the original Switch that launched by this time, it had sold maybe 5 million units. So obviously the Switch 2 was crushing it. But yeah, it's kind of saying that hey, people aren't buying games as much. Um, Even though we think they're being buoyed by hardware sales, again, people are not buying things to play; they're buying more things to play them on. I think there's a couple of reasons for this stuff.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of go through that. So there's two major things that kind of jump to mind for me as to why this is
Hmm.
happening. Um, the first one is live service games. I think that's one of the major reasons.
For sure.
So like
Absolutely.
yeah, so like someone can play Apex and they can play Fortnite and they can play Marvels and they can even play games like Where the Wind Meets, or they can play games like oh man, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? Like Destiny, if you want to, right, to a lesser extent. But there's a lot of these live service games out there that people can access and play for free. So if they're playing that, if they're busy playing that, they don't have to go buy other games, right?
Yep.
If I'm playing Apex and Apex is my favorite FPS, well, I don't need to go buy Wolfenstein. Why do I care about buying Wolfenstein? I have Apex, right? And it's the same thing because a lot of these live service games just aren't live service games. They're community powered games. These are how people interact and play with their friends. This is how they also have an expound, it kind of express a lot of their personality, and a lot of their social language and socialization is tied to these games. So they
Hmm.
have real strong kind of, it's around these. So if these are the games they're playing, and especially you think about like younger gamers too, like my cousin loves to play Roblox. He plays Roblox with his friends. He I've never heard him go up and say, "Hey mom, hey dad, I can't wait for the next From Software game to come out." Right? And there's no knock against From
Right.
Software or anything like that, but that's not what he wants. That's what most kids are like, "Hey, I want to play Roblox, or I want to play Minecraft, or I want to play Fortnite, or these other things like that." And these games I can
Kids yearn for the
access,
mines, man.
they can access and play them for free, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
adults as well, though, right? Like a lot of that centered around adults, even some live service games that may require an initial purchase. So maybe something like I don't think like Dead by Daylight is like is it
Oh
free
God.
free, or like you have to.
If the base game, I think, has been $20 for a while
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
But if you want to buy like all the DLC, so you can unlock all the characters,
Mhm.
killers, and survivors and stuff, a few of them have come out since I stopped playing. I mean, you're probably looking at like $200.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like but like they'll play that, like they'll get that game and then that's the game they play.
That's yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? So it's like,
Yes.
it's in the fact that like, hey, I buy, I've talked about, I don't really buy that many new games, but I do buy games. I just talked about grabbing a couple on sale. I'm in that 4% because most people buy at max 2 games per year, right? So I think it's that aspect of it, right? That live service.
Yeah.
And you can probably speak to that better than I can because you mostly play live service games. Like, have you
Correct.
felt like since you've been playing live service games, your actual purchasing of games? You've said before that like you would probably, if it wasn't for the podcast, you'd probably buy even less games than you already do, right?
Yes.
But like,
Yeah.
but do you feel like since you really started playing these live service games that you're wanting to go out and seek out and buy a game for a distinct, however long, however timeline purpose? Is like actually
Hmm.
it's not as much as it used to be because I've got Apex, or I got Marvel. Like I don't really need to go out and seek a game anymore.
Yeah. To start off, obviously when I was younger, it wasn't in my capacity in order to buy games or not, but
Hmm.
I did want a lot of different games.
Yeah.
Where it started was actually Call of Duty 4, right?
Okay.
Just online, no live service, just multiplayer, right?
Hmm.
And I didn't want any other games after that, really, you know. But when Titanfall came out, I was like, okay, they made the original Call of Duty 4 and the Modern Warfare 2. I'm gonna give that a shot because of
Hmm.
how much I loved that Call of Duty,
Hmm.
and those ended up being great games.
Hmm.
And I don't know why I liked Mirror's Edge or where I heard about it. I think my brother played it and I liked it, so I grabbed that. But pretty much multiplayer what sucked me in, and now that we have all these like live service stuff, it's even deeper.
Hmm.
Because like I tell you all the time, like I do want to play other games. I do not have the desire. I do not have the willpower. So I don't know if that's like a me thing or if it's like conspiracy theories, like they're just getting you addicted to the live service stuff.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have I'm gonna I want exact numbers right now. I have 1,090 hours in Marvel Rivals. It's only been out for a year.
Yeah.
right? Apex Legends on Steam only. I'm at
Hmm.
3,867,
Hmm.
right? Overwatch, when I got banned, I think I was at 3,100. Even Dead by Daylight, I don't even know where this guy is. There it is. I got 850 in that one.
Yeah.
It's this online playing the same thing, but it's different that has got me just hooked.
Yeah.
And like I bought what is it called? South. It's in the S's. It was S. Okay, why are you not there? It is South of Midnight. I bought it. That was the one game I bought this year.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
It's been staring at me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah,
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 I think I remember.
it's
Yeah,
a
because
universe.
we were talking about playing it, and I had
Yep.
downloaded it, and then not long afterward, I canceled my Xbox Game Pass. So whoops, that game went away.
Right.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, I mean, to that, so I think that's a large driver of it, right? Is that like you have these games, you're used to them, especially like us, kind of like the more towards the elder guards
Yeah.
of
I
what is
just
it?
had
What
an
was it?
epiphany moment.
Yeah.
I just had an epiphany moment. I think I know what it is.
Mm,
Okay, so you play this new game that comes out, right?
mhm.
And we'll just use this for example. When it all started, Resident Evil,
Okay.
right? Resident
Yep.
Evil came out, and people were like, okay, horror, zombie, killer game. Let's try that out.
Hmm.
Boom. Instantly, we'll say a million people played Resident Evil and absolutely loved that game. And they're like, you know what? I can't wait until another one comes out.
Yeah.
And eventually it does. Resident Evil 2, big hit, everything like that. Live service games don't need to do that. It's
Hmm.
already a new game, quote unquote, as soon as they release a new map, a new character, a new gun, new inventory,
Right.
like just something.
Right.
It's new, but it's old, and the comfort in it keeps you there.
And it happens at an accelerated pace, right?
Exactly.
This is kind of and that's interesting. So there's another thing I want to touch on with that, but I just to wrap up the other thought that I had was like, so like kind of like
Yes.
like we're kind of like the elder guards gamers, for lack of a better word, right? Even though that's not really true,
Hmm.
because the average gamer age is 41 and we're under that, so that means that a lot of gamers are actually older than 41.
Right.
So it's kind of like the thing of like, well, they might buy and play some different games. But for a lot of younger people, it's like I don't really need to go and do that. I don't really need to have all that stuff. One of the things you're talking about with live service games, which is really interesting, is that one of the things I've actually found myself drawn to when I buy games, when I really want to, depending on the game, when I really want to have a game that I know I want to enjoy for a long time, I buy it on PC because of the modding community for it. Live service kind of works as a way where the developer is the modder, right?
Hmm.
So like you were saying, like modding can like add so many different elements and changes to how you're doing. Like I'm playing Mountain Blade Bannerlord, right? I put 50, 60 hours into it. I'm bored of it now, but I want to play it, but I'm just kind of bored of the way it is. And they say, oh, well, you download this mod that turns the world into the world of Game of Thrones, right? It's like, oh, this is a whole new game again, right? Um,
Right.
and it's kind of the same thing you were saying, like we're like, no, now that the devs are expediting rather than us having Resident Evil 1, or let's how about we use it like maybe a more modern example, right?
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim.
Hmm.
Instead of me having to wait 100 years for Elder Scrolls 6 to come out, right? As a live service game, that new iteration of what that may be, the devs are bringing me that on a quarter by quarter basis, right? Some
Right.
type of
Right.
new element, new design. Maybe it's a new map, maybe it's a new character, right? Maybe there's like limited different abilities that they introduce that can kind of change the way that you play a map or play an opponent, right? And there's enough differentiation there to make that like really exciting and unique, right? So,
Hmm.
I mean, live service games bring you that, and I think that's a big component of it. I think another component for this kind of decrease in US gamers like buying, things, different stuff like that, um, or buying brand new games, is kind of is the introduction of subscription gaming services, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Whether we like them or not, right? Xbox Game Pass, huge subscriber base, right? PlayStation Plus and PlayStation, whatever the hell its thing is, right, has a reasonable install base, right? So you may have here, these people may still buy one or two new games, but they may
Mm-hmm.
not, especially if those games are going to come out on Game Pass. And we're talking about an install base of people that, latest numbers for something like Game Pass was like maybe 20, 30 million subscribers, right? You're talking about millions of people that may forego
Exactly.
buying games because they have this subscription service, right? So I think that's another thing that kind of plays into it, right? As to why you're
Definitely.
seeing this decrease in gamers playing this type of stuff,
Right.
or buying games as much as they would. But and this is the thing that has to be recognized is that there's elements of how they've shaped things that would make these numbers worse. The advent or the reduction of physical media in favor of digital media makes these numbers better, because if you had more of a availability of physical copies, you would have more pre-owned purchases. Those are purchases that game companies don't see again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about it that way, that if there was more of a, if they weren't in making a concerted effort, I think this is part of the reason why they're making such a concerted effort to reduce the amount of physical media and reduce buying pre-owned games and used games and different things like that, then the numbers will look even worse, because there's some games, in the instance of something like Hellblade 2, right?
Right.
That was a digital only game. You could only digitally download and buy that game, right?
Yep.
There's other games like that too, where we can only digitally purchase them. So that's helping them too. But I think that's a couple of things. And then obviously I think the third thing, and we kind of hinted at it before, which they don't like, but they're gonna have to deal with it because they're causing it, is affordability. Gaming
Yeah.
just isn't an affordable hobby like it used to be. And things are bad. This is what happens when you give people less money and make their living expenses higher. They have to eventually find money of where to when to cut things. And what they're going to do is they're going to look at it, and they're going to say, well, we can't, honey, we can't get this because this is a $60 brand new game and we can't afford that. And then little Tammy's going to say, no, mom, actually they're $70. They've been $70 for a few years now. And she's going to say, little Tammy, get the F out of here. Right? Like that's what's going to happen, because
You're
that's
grounded.
for a family that is pinching pennies to survive and get through because of economic reasons and cost of living reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spending $70 on a game that probably isn't worth it, because we've also, especially with larger AAA titles, we've kind of talked about the degradation or the kind of loss of quality in that area. No one's gonna say, you want me to spend $70 on the Outer Worlds 2? I'm sorry, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, we need to be
Right.
able to, keep food on the table and pay for, pay our gas bill or something like that. Um, that's not something that, if the gaming community at large wants to keep going the way they're going, or the game industry, in regards to increasing expenses and costs for things, they're going to continue to witness this. And so my question to them is, well, you can raise your game to $80. What good is that going to do you if no one buys it? Right?
Right.
Then that's where they're headed. So then when they have all these financial struggles and they're like, we don't understand what's going on, it's going to be, well, you priced everyone out. You just priced out your customer base. And now you're confused as to why no one but this 4%, which would become 3% or 2%, can afford your games. Right? You're going to wonder why. And it's like, well, it's very obvious. It's because you raised the price by games by $20 in the past 8 years, while there has not been a rise in the federal minimum wage for the past 30 or 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to wonder why it's very obvious, but your business might have tried to make as much money as you can. We can see you're not thinking that way. You're just trying to extract as much money as you can and keep it moving. That's not
Right.
going to work, you know?
Yeah. It's terrible out there. I mean, not to be political, but it is political, and it's not one way or the other. It's just the entire industry as a
Yeah.
whole. That's what makes stuff affordable or not affordable. And like I was looking up because when I think of affordability, like I instantly think of like the Great Depression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking up stuff for statistics to use for right now, and it surprised me. I didn't see this before because I was like, how much was your pay equal to how much a house costs, right? And it says that a house was generally about $4,000,
Mm-hmm.
and the average annual income was approximately 1,700 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally 2 years of work, a little more than that,
Yeah.
right? Of course,
Yeah.
without insurance, blah 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 blah. But like the thing that was really bad about it was people were just losing their jobs and having no money anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that it wasn't affordable, it's just that no one has jobs. Now, come back to now, right? Your average income nowadays, I think, is if you don't include the top 10,000 people, I think is like 33,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Houses on average cost 150,000, at least around us, give or take, maybe 250. And then we have all these other bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then where's your non-necessities? All the video games.
Yeah.
But they're raising their prices too. The Switch 2 is $500.
Yeah. And that's the most of, like we were talking a little bit before we started
Right,
recording.
most
Like
affordable one.
that's the most affordable console right now. Is the Switch 2. Now the original Switch was also the most affordable console when it launched.
Yeah,
It
it
launched
was
at
at 300.
$300.
Yeah,
It launched
300.
at $300, right? So it's it's like what would you say was like what would you just say, like $4.99? Yeah. So you're talking about a console that in the 8 years between it when it launched its first iteration and second iteration, it's increased in $200, and it's still the cheapest option, right? Like that's an insane thought to kind of have with all this stuff with gaming, but it's the same tale, right? The same thing with games. Okay, $60. We need to get $70 to pay for all this development and all these different things that we haven't asked you for, right? And you say that this is going to help, it's going to reduce kind of, exploitative or predatory practices, and they maintain all that because they already built the infrastructure of it. They already built the infrastructure of loot boxes. You thought
Right.
they were going to raise it $70 and get rid of them? Why? Because they told you that? They lie. They always
They
lie.
lied?
I don't know
What?
why we I don't know why
No.
we don't think that
No.
these type of companies that are like, determined to get money and extract as much as they can, why you would think that they wouldn't lie. They're obviously going to lie to you. So I think it's like a lot of those things that we're kind of seeing affect US gamers specifically wanting to play. I mean, there's also the increasing perspective or possibility that like younger people are just less interested in playing video games. And that's again another reckoning that the video game is trying to kick that can down the road. It's eventually going to catch up with them. You're going to have
Yeah.
to solve for let's talk about other entertainment industries like baseball. Baseball is having to solve for the fact that younger people aren't interested in baseball, right? And eventually our consumer base, our audience base is going to gradually die out. How do we reach younger people and maintain our audience, right?
Hmm.
Gaming is so pervasive still culturally, but they aren't really thinking about that. But there are things that are obviously bubbling up that they have to be able to take on. And I think specifically the aspects of affordability, that's a huge thing that they just seem to like not really want to think about, but they're going to have to think about it because you're expendable. Like of everything that we do, like people are going to, if you ask someone, the average family, what are you going to give up more, right? Like access to being able to watch a sports game or something, or
Hmm.
your ability to play, I don't know, Donkey Kong Bonanza. They're going to say, well, obviously I'd rather watch sports than being able to watch Donkey Kong Bonanza. Who cares about Donkey Kong Bonanza? Like you're the expendable one. So you have to figure out a way how to maintain some affordability in some respect. Um,
Right.
and I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's obviously affected it. This Vice article is kind of like it's speaking to it. It kind of dilly dallies around a little bit with the whole idea of like, hey, the hardware numbers are going crazy, and it's like, well, a brand new console just came out. A brand new
Right.
console
Like,
from one of the most popular console makers just came out, and it's doing gangbuster numbers. Yeah, what happens next year when that starts to fall?
yeah. Oh,
And no
sales are
one's
down 50%. Why?
Exactly, right? And no one's buying new consoles because PlayStation and Xbox price themselves out. Their tech is getting a little bit longer in the tooth. They constantly tease about their next gen of consoles, and their next gen of consoles is going to probably be $200 to $300 more expensive than it is right now. And everybody else still has just as much, if not less, money than they have now. What happens when they begin to constantly price themselves out? That 4% you're talking about is going to shrink more and more and more and more, right? And then you're going to have other people that when they need to make an option of like what they're going to invest their money in, like you and I, we're not going to choose a PlayStation. We're not going to choose an Xbox. We're going to choose a PC because I can do all my gaming on PC. I can socialize freely on PC, and I can also do all the other things I need to do as a human being in the 21st century on my computer. Right.
Right.
So, it's an interesting thing that's happening, but I think it's disheartening, maybe possibly for the if you think about the health of the industry, but I also think it's a good thing because I do believe that the most effective way to voice yourself is with your wallet. And if you're letting these companies
Yeah.
know that this isn't affordable, so you are not a priority for my wallet, then in order for them to get your money, they have to bow to your will of where and what you're willing to spend your money on. They have to do that. So, as much as some people that love video games may be like, "Oh, this is concerning," I'm not too concerned about it. I just spent $10 on indie games. Indie games will be there because indie games are
Oh yeah.
exponentially more affordable.
Oh
If you're
yeah.
an indie gamer, don't be
Sometimes even
concerned at
better.
all. Yeah, yeah, don't be concerned at all. As long as you keep your games small, focused, and accessible, they'll be there. People will get them, right? This isn't going to affect the game like Valheim or affect the game even like something like a Clear Obscure Expedition 33, right? This is going to affect your Ubisoft games and your EA games and
Yep.
all the other, big mega schlocky type video games that get put out. Your Concords where you throw $100 million at an IP that you don't know if it'll work or not. You just think people will because they're supposed to. That's who it's going to affect, and they're going to have to figure themselves out. But um, I do think it's interesting that we're seeing it happen. Like it's happened across the world. I think it's interesting for the US because we are such a game buying, more of a game buying culture compared to like other parts of the world. So
Hmm.
the fact that you see us kind of falling in line with the other worlds with just like decline in buying brand new games, I think is interesting. I think the largest driver. I don't think that we're technically playing less games. I think we're all just playing live service games, or a lot of us are. And there's just no need to go
Right.
buy a new game unless it's something that we absolutely need to have. Like I'm pretty
Right.
sure this article would be like, oh, game buying's making a comeback in 2026. And it's gonna be like, yeah, game purchases year over year have gone up 33%. Now we must also admit that Grand Theft Auto 6 came out this year. And it's like, well no, you know what I'm saying? Like obviously. Like
Right.
obviously your
Exactly.
game sales will go
They
up
wait
if
for
the
something to explode and then write
exactly.
it.
And then like yeah, I was gonna go if the largest gaming franchise in the history of gaming launches a brand new title in the first time in 30 years, obviously the game sales overall gonna go like through the
Yeah,
roof.
everyone's coming out of the woodwork for that.
Yeah,
Okay? Grand Theft Auto 5 being the last game for what, 10 years now? Maybe even 15 almost?
yeah,
You have 15 years worth of people that loved that game ready for 6 to come out.
yeah. I mean everybody, like you said, everybody's gonna freaking, Ramses the fifth, wherever his mummy is gonna crawl out of his crypt and go to GameStop and buy a copy of Grand Theft Auto 6. It's like finally it came out. I've been waiting my whole afterlife for this game. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? But like this right here is like, hey, game
Businesses are
game
booming.
hardware, game
No.
hardware 20% up to year over year. Yeah, because you have a brand new console that's on a record selling pace right now. This is not representing the norm. This is a weird conceit to have in this article. But
Right.
yeah, overall, US gamers are buying less games. 1 to 2 a year. That sounds about right. That's
That's
if you're
$120.
it's 120 to $140 a year,
That's
right?
$12 a month just to play new video games.
Yeah. You're buying one or two. You have the one or two you're excited for, and those are the ones that you're buying. Like brand new. I'm trying to think brand new. What games have I bought this year brand new? I bought Ghost of Yotei brand new, and
Crap.
I think that's it. I think that's it. It would have been two because if Fable would have came out, I would have bought Fable, but it got pushed next year. So I got a bunch of little games that I've bought on sale. You know what I'm saying? $5 here, $7 here,
Hmm.
$10 here, But that sounds about right. Sounds about right. So I mean, we'll see.
Corporations.
It's being so ruined. All these people come in there with their MBAs and they get into these companies and they're like forget the creative vision, forget any kind of like pro consumer type of thing. It's just all about making a bag. It's all about getting money. And we've seen in countless situations that always leads to ruin.
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense to try to raise your thing to be as high as possible if no one can afford to get it. What's the profit margin is only a margin if you sell it. What if you don't sell it? Then there's no
Exactly.
margin. But all the cost is in it. You paid for development. You paid $150 million to develop the thing, and then priced to where no one can afford it. How are you going to get not only forget profit? How are you going to make your money back?
Exactly. Where how are you gonna get the bar even before the profits if
Yeah,
you're priced out more than half of the population that plays your stuff?
exactly. This isn't in most of these places like they aren't a rock star with a Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
And even like I don't even like the people talk about it a lot. Like people need to understand also that Grand Theft Auto 5 is an aberration even for Rockstar. Like Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto Online has done better than even Rockstar envisioned. They stumbled into a money printing machine. So
Yeah.
yeah, they have a game and a game franchise that has made them over the past, billions of dollars over the course of the past decade or so. I don't see that happening again, even with Grand Theft Auto 6. I think the environment is different. I think the need for things is different. So I don't see that happening
Mm.
again.
Yeah.
A lot of companies aren't going to be in that position where they can afford to do that type of thing. So we'll see. But hey guys, you keep on keeping on not buying games. Is what I say. Unless you really, really want them. 63% of you
Doing
buy
work.
2 games or fewer per year.
You got it. I am the 66.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Only 4% of US video game players buy a new game more often than once per month, with a third of players not buying any new games at all. Yeah, I don't buy a new game more than often than once a month. That's
Yeah,
insane.
so
Who
you're
has
not even
bred
part
it
of the
up like
4%.
that?
For
I'm
real.
not I'm not part
Well,
of the
the average
4% then.
41-year-old apparently.
Yeah. Who are these breaded up
That's
people that are buying
that's
one
another
new game
thing.
a month?
The average age, I feel like it's just gonna keep going up.
It is. It is. Because they're also pricing out younger people, right?
Yeah.
Unless you can unless you
Eventually
can,
we're not gonna be able to play anymore.
well, I mean, look, I've been rocking a 1660 for in my PC for a minute. That bad boy is long in the tooth. And as long as I can pop and as long as I can play my Civilization 3 or any other stuff I got on here,
Hmm.
we're good to rock. You can't throw no Unreal 5 at it. You throw Unreal 5 at it, I'm done. But yeah, you throw some Unreal 4, a little bit of Unreal 3, a little bit of Unreal 4, I'm all right, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of like, us all croaking eventually.
You're just
Like
thinking, you're
just
just thinking
yeah,
that?
like well yeah, because I was saying the average age of gamers is probably just gonna go up.
Yes.
If your
Yep.
average gamer is 55, some of these people are at the ends of their lines.
Hmm.
And if they're not, they're going soon, 30 years maybe. In those last 10, you probably can't play like you used to or want to.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
well there's
you're
the thought of
doing very
like
backwards things.
I remember seeing some story about Skyrim grandma. She was like, "Hey, I'm going to stop playing this. I can't go with it like I used to."
Yeah.
And it's like, good lord, this lady has been playing Skyrim online for over a decade. Get your freaking game out, Bethesda. Get your game out before this lady kicks it. That's what we're all concerned about. We're concerned that Skyrim grandma is going to kick it before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. Now they went ahead, I think, a few years ago when they've been developing the game. They took a mold of her face and she's going to be an NPC in the game, which is an awesome way to immortalize her. But
Hmm.
we'd love to maybe get a last stream from Skyrim
Right. I think
Grandma
she wants to like
before.
see her in the game,
Yeah, what I'm saying,
you
like that'd
know?
be cool to see. But who knows if it will happen? That studio is foobar. Uh, yeah, but eventually, yeah, it'll keep getting older, and then the younger generation that's like, hey, I don't need this. I got TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I need to dance.
I need to dance. You know what I'm saying? No Dance Dance Revolution. They're dancing in real life.
Oh man, I miss that game. I wish I had the cardio for it.
Yeah.
I want to own one.
Do they
I
not
just don't
have it
have
at
the
the?
money.
They don't have them at.
Oh,
I was
they have
going
them at the
to.
arcades and stuff,
I was going to say
but
they don't have them at arcades anymore. And then I thought about, well, how many arcades are still left?
yeah, there's
You
a
know what I'm
lot of
saying?
them at round one. My friend that is really, really, really into rhythm video games actually runs the round ones. Like he travels
Oh, nice.
states and everything. He's been going to Japan quite often. But anyways, he had it literal arcade in his own house, right? He had
Nice.
Pump It Up and In the Groove and DDR in his basement with a bunch of other like Poppin' and Beatmania and Shock something, and there was like Jubilee. Anyways, just a bunch of different rhythm games, right?
Yeah.
And he has like access to this because he is known around the world about being this rhythm person, right? So
Mm-hmm.
he's always had access to like DDR machines, pump it up machines. People are like, hey, you want something to do with this? Yeah. Yeah, he's like 30 PS2 cases just because he loves the PS2 cases. It's insane. And because people know, you know? So like
Yeah.
I could go to him and be like, hey, the next time you see a DDR machine, let me know. But I don't have the money
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
because I would have that in my garage, 100%.
Yeah, I've even halted getting like some of the older throwback consoles. You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason for some reason I don't know why. I really love the look of the PS1. So
Hmm.
like not the PSX, but the PS1, the small white one they made.
Yeah.
Like the slim version of it basically. I
Yep.
kind of just love the way it looks. And I love the way it like felt. I remember when I was younger. So I was like,
Hmm.
man, I'd love to get a PS1. Um,
PSX.
but then I think about like we talked about no, the PSX was the original big gray rectangle boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My bad. My bad.
Um, but every time I think about it, you and I have talked about it before. I think about, well, I wouldn't want to play anything on it because I'm just not going to be that cruel to my eyes because everything on a PlayStation just looks god awful. It's the worst looking thing
Yeah,
to
I'm
ever.
I'm glad we were able to play those
They
because
came.
we
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 were
can't go
young
back
at the
to
right
this.
time. We were young at the right time for those. Yeah.
Uh,
Because even like I'm like God, they look worse than I'd rather play Sega Genesis than play a PlayStation game. Like I'm sorry, like it's just awful. Um, yeah, but that's it. That is it for our topic. We're near the end of the podcast, which means it's time for final thoughts. We can offer a final thought about anything related or unrelated to this podcast episode. So, who wants to give a final thought first?
yeah, yeah. I'll go.
Okay.
So my son is getting really into Cobra Kai. He absolutely loves it. I don't know if you've watched
Yeah,
it or not,
I have
but
not.
it's the continuation of the Karate Kid movies,
Yeah.
right? And he's really into it. He's like, I want a punching bag and stuff. So we were thinking of like getting him that. And there's a different weights and everything. There's like 40, 70, 85, everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's a lot more to this than I thought. But I'm excited that he's wanting to do like physical stuff,
Yeah.
because we didn't get him uh like a punch bag, but there's these things on like sticks that are like those,
Mm-hmm.
those clowns that have like a weight at the bottom if you punch them and they
Yeah,
come
yeah,
back
yeah.
up.
Like the yeah.
It's pretty much like that, except with
Yeah.
one of those boxing balls that usually like hang from the ceiling and they're just really small. You just like do this with them.
Yeah, speed
Pretty
bags.
much looks
Yeah.
like, yeah, speed bags. Thank you.
Yeah.
It basically looks just like that on a stick.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get that, and it came with like the gloves and stuff. So
Oh,
we'll see
nice.
how that pans out. And I was thinking of maybe that's something like we could do together. Do punching
Yeah.
exercises and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. I did have well, I don't have it in my laundry anymore because a bunch of other stuff, different living stuff happened. But I used to have a punching bag set up. I have a 70-pound punching bag with a weight stand or like a bag
Really?
like a punching bag stand, and then there's the punching bag on the front, and then the back. It came with a speed bag, so you'd attach the speed bag to it, and you could do the different things like that. But
Okay.
then like we ended up, I have it like set away in storage in my garage and different stuff like that, just to it
Hmm.
didn't have a lot of space. But it's also it's just a pain in the a to move around. So I was gonna grab like you were talking about like one of the well, it's more of the inflatable ones where they have
Hmm.
like the stands and you can put like sandbags or water bags in the bottom and then you can do that. I was gonna set one of those up to have in my garage that I could like use like during the summer, different stuff like that. But it's like
Right.
you can deflate it and put it away. Like it's easy to store. It's not like that bag set up where you got the whole stand, you got to make sure it's balanced, different stuff like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I was actually gonna grab. So I've never ordered anything from Temu before. I'm not sure if you have.
No, I
That was going to
haven't.
be something I experimented with. Was like, you
Okay.
know what? I'm going to try to order one of these from Temu. But then when I went on there on my phone, I'm guessing people order Temu on their phone. It just feels like spyware is being put on my phone every time I go to this. It just feels like it. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this or
Yeah.
not. But that's cool though. It's cool to get into that.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
That's my final thought.
Alrighty. My final thought is that I recently, what was it? Monday. This past Monday was my birthday, and so I was able to get some little bit of some gifts or something like that. And so a
Hmm.
gift I was able to get from my mom, that my mom got me, because you heard me talk about it, and I've talked about it on the podcast. You heard me talk about the Ghost of Yotei controller, but the other
Hmm.
one I've talked about is the Starfield controller.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
So I got one. She got me. It's a pre-owned one, but it's like super clean. It's like barely used. It's like brand new or something. But it's got like the cool grip textures on the back, and it's got all the cool little decals and colors on it. Um, and so that's part of the reason why I was playing Valheim, is because I was trying out my controller with Valheim to
Hmm.
see how that felt, how that goes. Because usually I have a Xbox controller from my PC that I play on, and I've got an Xbox, and then my other ones are for my consoles or whatever. So, yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I love the look of it, and so having this and then having the Ghost of Yotei controller, a couple of really cool things. I always get the controller, it splits my brain how cool and great and well designed the controller is, and how it's
Hmm.
the complete and total opposite of the game it's attached to. I don't think I've ever seen such a disparity of coolness of accessory versus coolness of game it's associated with.
Hmm.
Um Almost to a point where I'm like, oh man, I wish I could actually like try it out with Starfield, but well, I don't have access to Starfield because I don't have Game Pass.
Womp womp
So
womp.
I'll be playing it with other stuff. But yeah, that was my final thought. It's a cool,
All
awesome
right, that's
gift. I was
pretty
finally able to
cool.
get this controller. Yeah. When it started to come out, like 2023, 2 years ago. So I've like
Maybe.
so I think it was like
Yeah, I think
October
you're
of
right. It
23.
was at the
Yeah.
end of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was October of 23. So over 2 years, I've like kind of wanted this controller in some way, shape, or form, and I finally got it. So um
September 6th of the
September.
2023.
Yeah. 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 Remember it was in
Dang.
fall. Yeah. So yeah, it's my final thought. It's been cool. Even tells you, it has like, you probably can't see it, but it even says a little word say grip here
I
at the
I
actual grip.
see I see words, but I
Yeah.
can't read them.
It actually says grip here. Then it has all the different throttle and different stuff like that. Stuff that you would do in Starfield if you actually wanted to subject yourself to it. But
Right.
yeah, that's my final
Exactly.
thought.
Alrighty, that was a good one.
Yeah, it brings us to the end of level 148 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, share the podcast on your preferred podcast platform and socials. We are on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and the X and other stuff. We're also on YouTube, where we upload video versions of the podcast every week. Check us out there. If you want to support us, there's a couple of ways you can do that. One is to buy merch, for instance, like this phone case, hats, shirts, hoodies, different things like that. We also have a Patreon, $2 a month. You can sign up. You get a special thanks at the end of every podcast video episode that goes up, as well as access to the podcast feed, where we maybe do different polls or different things like that. We really appreciate your support there. That is it for me. David, was there anything else you want to add?
Peace.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.